lot more about me on the SBIR program because he is the boss of the SBIR program for the Department of the Navy. But I've learned so much from Bob and his staff, especially Bob and Brian Shipley. I think Brian was out at Gold Coast last week, right? Yeah. So just a phenomenal team, a good program that I believe we government people at the integrated product team level aren't utilizing enough. I do not believe I do not believe the PEOs are utilizing it enough, and I believe the warfare centers aren't utilizing the phase 2s enough. These is great experimentation. Bob, I think if you have any slides, I think Ling's ready, so I'm going to turn the floor over to you and Chris. I'm not sure. He's got a remote control. Okay, yep. And you point it where? In the area? Just in space?
So we can drag this out because I've got about 68 PowerPoint slides. You've just had lunch. You're kind of lethargic. We're moving on here. How many people here are small businesses? How many of you are involved in the SBIR program? How many of you want to be involved in the SBIR program? Okay, so I've been tweaking on this new entry. So you tell me which way I should go. Because normally I just get up and go, hi, I'm Bob Smith, Department of the Navy SBIR STTR program. Here's my email. I'm 42.civ if you want to find me. There's a lot of Robert Smiths. Or would it make more sense if I said, I manage one of the largest public venture funds in the United States. My shareholders capitalize me at $500 million a year to make contracts with American small businesses. Should I go with Bob Smith or should I go with the Public Venture Fund? Okay, so we're going to talk SBIR. I love the SBIR program. I love the STTR program too. I love both those children equally. Okay, if anyone asks, the only difference between an STTR and an SBIR, STTR requires a research partner. Oh, by the way, selection rate for an STTR is twice as high as an SBIR. So don't be afraid to partner. There's my email. You're going to forget it. Go to NavySBIR.com for anything you want to know about the program, including emails. NavySBIR.com. Okay. Or watch late night movies. We also advertise there. Now I can do it. Okay. Big picture. In the SBIR program. The Navy may not be your customer. But you go down, there's Navy and vice versa. So don't think is to find your customer. You heard earlier someone talking about there's two, or have with somebody in the SBIR program. You can show up and say, here is my bright and shining. I've stayed up for countless nights creating this beautiful thing. And you expect me to know where it's going to go. I'm going to tell you where it should go, but you're not going to like that answer. Or, hey, I've looked at your website. I understand what your technology I point taken. So do you want to get paid for doing things you don't like? That's what I'm doing wrong. and they execute it all. I am all about the ecosystem. Do not memorize this slide because the little circles will change. But I got to tell you, it takes a lot of people at the table to say yes before we move forward. It's not your job to know everybody in the ecosystem. Part of that's where the TPOC comes in, but it also stresses don't go alone. There are people out here to help you succeed. Okay? Be humble enough to say, I don't have a, find a partner. Can you help me write the proposal? Oh, by the way, the Navy government person will not help you write the proposal, but your local will. Your local folks will help you on your proposal, just not folks. You utilize them. Why? Why make it harder on yourself than you ask a VC fund whether or not that's a pretty good this process. We ask ourselves a question. What happens? Where's it going to go? Why are we doing this? If it's just for good research, it's not going to make it in an topic, because we already have an idea where it's going to go, because there are so many places I'm not good at math. 1.8 with 240. Who wants $2 million to do what they like? Run really fast away from the bureaucracy. I have a team that helps all of us get through the bureaucracy because it can be daunting for all of us that help make that easier. Got all kinds of information for you. And there you go. How to do business. Make sure you're an American small business. Okay. And your team. You probably don't. And the last is commercialization. Back, boo-boo, back. Okay. Number 4, probably most important. You can go look at them now, so it's not a surprise. Okay. The templates to submit proposals. How we do the paperwork. What you need to have done. Do not wait till the day before the solicitation closes to think you've got the proposal submitted. One of the things we tell you about is to read the instructions. If you ever read the broad agency instructions, there's one line in there that says, if the web goes down, tough luck. We don't extend the window. The number of companies that have contacted me on the day that a solicitation, we spent months putting the proposal together, blood, sweat, and tears. The website locked up, and it's too late. Can you help? No, I can't. Because you didn't read the instructions, which also says, do it early. Solicitation schedule is pretty standard, okay, through the year. I will caution you that the 23.1/A, 1 is for SBIR, A is for STTR. In 2 weeks, if we're not reauthorized, how many of you believe never talk to the customer? Raise those hands. Pre-release is your opportunity to talk directly with the author. Is this a good time to discuss your intellectual property? No, because it's going to go on the web. And close is, we're not talking anymore. It's time to do evaluations. We got 90 days to get this stuff done and out the door, or the Small Business Administration gets really mad at me because we're not meeting their timelines. Three primary selection criteria. The proposal itself, the strength, what's innovative with your approach to solving this problem? Your technical team and moving through. Undersea. Okay. The Army is adopting Navy topics all the time. SOCOM loves us because most of the time they don't like doing phase ones. They want to move faster. They adopt our phase twos. So one of the questions when you get to phase two is ask your Navy person, do you have contemporaries in our sister services? And will you make an introduction? Go back again. I can plug it so many times. Navy, SBIR.com. Lots and lots of information, along with points of contact and who to get to. So if you have a question and you don't get to them today, give us a call. Please. Best practices, research the topics. Make sure you're going to propose to your strengths, not because you just want to get a paycheck. Okay. Talk to the TPOC. Request TABA. Oh, what the hell is that? Okay. Technical assistance for you. So along with getting your phase one, phase two, you request TABA, there's additional funds at phase one, phase two to help you with talking to an IP attorney, helping someone get your accounting system set up. So why not avail yourself of those funds that are in addition to your phase one, phase two contract? Post-award, be friends with your TPOC, your customer. They're the ones that are going to help you navigate this thing called the Navy. because Bob Smith sure as heck does not know all 366,000 people in the Navy. Okay, so there you go. Understand the value of your technology, not the features. Why do I care about this? What's it do for me? Don't tell me it's the brightest, shiniest color we've got or buttons are here. It solves my problem. It brings sailors and Marines home safely. Okay. It might just be something as simple as I make their life a little more less hellish. Okay. I gave them an iPad so they don't have to walk around with their clipboard. Okay. So now they have a few more hours to do other things that the senior chief's going to make them do anyway. We won't spend too much time on the funding, but you have to start having those conversations because we have this incredibly complex set of rules when it comes to our money. The best I can say for that is if you took your home budget and you got money for groceries, you got money for the car payment, you got money for the mortgage payment, on and on and on, right? Well, in the federal government, I'm not allowed to move money from the vacation fund to the car fund if the car breaks down. Just to make it really, really hard on us. Okay. But it's my job as the government person to understand those challenges so you're not left going, well, you know, I didn't do my homework and you finished up and had a great phase 2, but we didn't work on the transition. So have a good day. Make sure you send a Christmas card. Come on now. Phase 3 is the holy grail of SBIR. We want you to commercialize your technology. Preferably, you solve my problem first, and then I hope to hell you're really successful in the commercial market. If you think SBIR is your one and only relationship with the government, it's your one and only business model for your company, you will fail. Because the one thing I can guarantee about the federal government is we will let you down. Absolutely. That contract will be late. It's going to take 6 months to get through contracts. Something's going to go wrong. Oh, the program may not get reauthorized. We don't get our money on 1 October. We, the government, will let you down. So don't make this your one and only business model. Phase 3 guidebook, you need it because think about it, with all humility, the Navy SBIR program, $500 million. Bob Smith's pretty important, isn't he? That's less than 3% of the Navy's R&D account. There's still 97 cents on the dollar. There are billions of other R&D dollars being spent. So not that many people are as educated on SBIR authorities and the rules. My team is. The Phase 3 guidebook explains to contracts officers and PMs on why they can give you a sole source, non-competitive award. Okay, and we do that to the tune of about $1 billion a year. Phase 3 is not SBIR money, it's SBIR authorities. It's an incredibly powerful tool because Congress wants you to succeed. They really do, except for one senator, and I won't mention his name or the state he comes from, but it starts with a K and ends with a Y. You figure it out. We talk transition-driven topics. We know where it's going to go if it works. You're solving a problem, okay? We already have someone pulling, hoping you're successful. They need you to be successful. Otherwise, we wouldn't have put the topic out there to solve a problem. We have workshops to help you understand how we do things in the Navy. We just don't throw money at you and say, you're good on your own. You're part of the family. We need to help you succeed. We give faster awards. We give more money up front. And we have transition support programs, unlike any of my sister services, by the way. Here's two of them. STP. I've got some more slides on that. SBIR STTR transition program. Every Navy Phase 2 awardee Every Navy Phase 2 awardee is invited to STP. Think of it as a graduate course on development of your technology, build in this case, delivering at scale. It's an MBA program. So all of you fantastic engineers and scientists that didn't go to school for your Juris Doctorate will understand why it's important to have a lawyer on the team, or KO, or other folks to do that. We don't solve all your problems. We just make sure you're aware there are other challenges. What I like to say to folks that start that class is, congratulations, you got your Phase 2. You're behind. Okay. Because now we've got to somehow sequence your tech development with the POM process, make sure it does a tech insertion at the right time, that there's money on the backside waiting for you. Just a few things go on. And you're going to hear about the experimentation cell, simple proposition. There are very few people in the Navy that understand the experimentation venues, process, and procedures within the Navy, much less you. And things as simple as there's a guidebook there on how to get aboard a Navy ship. One thing I can tell you, do not bring your open-toed sandals. Little things like that. But there's so much into it. And the thing is, we find every time one of our companies goes and does an experiment with a sailor and a Marine, their system gets better. We find out that the sailors and Marines really want it, and it helps pull it even faster. Okay. I love getting emails from companies about, hey, I just wanted you to know we were in this experiment, and they're going to buy it. They got it in the palm. They're moving forward. Or I heard back, and what you produced saved a life today. Pretty special. Okay. We also have a commercial accelerator program that's for Phase 2 companies, usually more mature Phase 2 companies that really have dual use capability. So you start thinking about, if I really want to scale at the commercial side, not just 300 Navy ships, I want to do 300,000. Okay, how do I do that? Do I want venture cap money? If I do want venture cap, what kind of venture cap money? Okay, we help you think through that. So think of that as being a PhD program as you move forward. Online resources, there's a lot there. We're here for the rest of the day. If in doubt, NavySBIR.com, you can get to us. And before I turn over to Rich, are there any questions on SBIR, STTR? No questions? Yes, sir. Ling, will they be able to get a copy of the presentation? Okay, they're going to post it for you so you can get it. Yep. But it's $1.50 per page. All yours, sir. I'm going to sit in the back here and heckle.
So I get to follow up the money guy for Don Silver, and I work for him. So this is going to be tough. So before I get started, I got a bunch of slides. How many SBIRs out here? How many Navy SBIR Phase 2s? If you have a Navy SBIR Phase 2 and you want to do something technical on a ship, airplane, or a shore station or a sub, then you should pay attention to this brief. You will get something, even if you just read our guidebooks. So please listen up. For those of you who are not SBIRs or want to get on ships, planes, and other things, we have guidebooks on our website written in layman's terms how those processes are, and we're updating them continually. So I'm going to put a plug in for that. That's the end slide, but I just try to capture someone's attention at this little hot warehouse we're in right now and all these briefs. See if I can figure this out. All right, DONSEC, Department of the Navy SBIR Experimentation Cell. It's a lot of acronyms. Basically what it is, we're not acquisition. We don't have funding to give you. We're a free service for Phase 2 Navy SBIRs and higher to help you through this experimentation cycles, to connect you with experimentation venues and talk about everything experimentation. We have a team, and our goal is to mentor, train, and facilitate through all areas of experimentation. Whether you're doing a laser You're doing a battery, a lithium-ion batteries, a CADEX on an environmental impact statement. If we don't know it, we'll figure it out and get information to you. Oh, I'm actually hitting the button here. So our goals, every program's got goals. Well, basically, we want to empower the SBIR community, meaning TPOCs, program managers, and the SBIR performers to better enhance their ability to transition. Now, what does that mean? We believe, this is our core value on this team, is that experimentation, if done properly, can provide objective quality evidence to help you transition. Not just say, I did a demonstration, I did great. Now, I'm not knocking demonstrations, they're awesome. But if you can get evidence of why you're the one who meets that Navy goal, that Navy warfare challenge, and that can get codified, that gives you just about higher than anybody else who doesn't do that. I mean, I don't know how many people here, I've heard it 100 times. I went out, the Admiralty saw my stuff. It was the greatest thing since sliced bread. They want this. He's going to come back. Nothing heard. So the tail end of that is reporting, and we'll talk about that a little bit. I'm going right through the slides here, sorry. All right, so end-to-end support, what do I mean? We break it up into basically 4 categories: engineering, operations, analysis, and reporting. Engineering, anybody here know how to put a widget on a Navy ship? Anybody heard of cyber accreditation or risk management framework? Anybody like those processes? Anybody heard of the ship modernization process? These are all things that you need to know if you're going to put something on a ship, on an aircraft. There's airworthiness. There's all sorts of things. Cyber is like almost universal. Has to be cyber secure. So small business, building a widget in Utah, let's say, how do they know about any of these things? That's where we come in. We've got experts on ship install. We've got experts on cyber. We have experts on lithium-ion battery certification process, and we mentor, train, and facilitate. I'm not going to do the package for you, but I'm going to tell you who to talk to. That 32-page, report, because the government has to have overkill on it. What do you really need? What does the battery lithium-ion package really need in it? For the TPOCs, any TPOCs or NSWC out here? We can help them with the package. So your SBIR performers, we take that load off of you. We work with your performers to give you the package information you need to put it together. Because they're going to ask you about what is this and what is that and what's this amperage and all that. We'll take that on. We'll help you with that. Again, it's all about trying to get that smoother transition. So the big companies, they have, this great utility to use funds, and you go out and do spectrum capabilities and cyber and all that, and they have all these capabilities. The small businesses don't. We can help them. Now, the Rubik's Cube side on here, just kind of our magic sauce over here. So if you're building something phase 2, brand new, do you really need to go on an aircraft carrier and put that on the IT network and the navigation system? So we take a look at you and we meet with you and we talk. It's all about the dialogue and the conversation. What event works for you? Out of all the hundreds of events that are going on in naval experimentation, that's fleet experimentation down to the Antexes, to everything. We're going to try to build that relationship. And this is the Rubik's Cube. The event, right barrier to entry, the right requirements for that event. If you're trying to fly an aircraft and you're in an unmanned systems event, it's not going to do any good. And all of these things, we switched the Rubik's Cube to kind of give you the SBIR community, TPOC, PM, and the performer into that event. And I'll tell you right now, it's all about milestones and funding and where you can fit into that process. We're going to help guide through that entire process. We're your advocate to help you with those. We also have embedded staff at Fleet Experimentation at Navy Warfare Development Command. We also have a relationship with our NavAir folks over here and ARPED. We're building these dialogues. It's been around 2 years. We're building these dialogues. We're going to build one with Coastal Trident. We already started. Build it with the cyber range. Those are the types of things that we want to bring to the community and help you get into those events. Operations. We have experts in airspace, water space management. Environmental, if you're going to do something in the Hawaiian op area and you're going underwater, anybody had to deal with the turtle migration stuff? Believe it or not, it's a big deal. It's a lot. So having that information up front. So for those businesses who are not SBIRs and not in our charter, read the guidebooks. You will understand at some level what it takes to do that, and it can help guide you. They're free. They're on our website. Distro A, every single one of them. And I'll talk about those in a little bit. A couple things here on experiment design. So when we put the team together, we put a team together that could actually do an experiment. Our background is fleet experimentation, Trident Warriors, things like that. We have over 100 years experience in doing experimentation venues, from lab-based testing to whole fleets going out and doing things. So we're here to help you. We're going to take our knowledge and give it to you and help you streamline whatever you need to do. Again, our support goes with a Navy Phase 2. Our guidebooks are good out there for anybody. And we want feedback on this. You know, if there's something we don't have right or it's not helping you, give us a call. We're continually updating those books. They're living documents. Again, I talked about our methods: mentor, train, facilitate. We have two basic lines of effort. Our wide effort is to do things like this: educate, talk, get people to understand, SBIRs to understand there's a process. An example of that is we had a performer. I want to go on a Navy ship. I just want to plug my stuff into the IT network and the GPS puck. And they don't understand that's $500,000, $750,000, and 13 months and planning yards and AIS and all this other stuff. But I just want to check my sensors. So we got them on a test ship, free to them because we were playing with the event. And he went out and tested all their sensors and got good quality data for the government to then take that to the next level. But in the beginning stages, they don't know this stuff. And some TPOCs aren't, like if it's a TPOC for NAV Air, it may not have the NAV C, something that's done with NAV C or vice versa. A NAV C folk might not know the airworthiness process. We connect those. And what we don't know, we learn and we give it back to you. Again, facilitation, mentoring, and training. Our 4 guidebooks. First one, general experimentation. It's out on our website, which is posted on this brief and out. If you can't find us, it's on the Don SBIR website. We're a link on the left. Anything you want to know about general experimentation, it's in there. It talks about fleet experimentation, Antex is everything we know. Second revision's already out. The second one, if you're ever going to ride a ship and you've never been on one, it tells you everything you need to bring, what shower shoes are, bring cash, not check, all that stuff. It was just an easy kill for anyone who's going to go on a ship. So if you have either the government or the industry folks and you're going to go on a Navy ship, take it down, give it a read. It'll help you. The third one, 103, engineering and installation. That's the Grand Poobah right there. There's information in there on the flex shipboard installation processes. So if you're going to do a ship change document, maybe you don't need one. I know it's a concept that's hard to visit, but if you're going to go through these, there's actually, the government has gotten into ways to get these things better, smoother, easier for temporary installs. We have templates on there. We have information. We're working on the 103. We're working on quick reference guides that'll have, the first one will be RMF and cyber and some of the other ones. So that's forthcoming. 104, experiment, analysis, and training. Okay, if a tree falls in the woods, you know the whole analogy. If an experiment is done and nobody collects data and nobody propagates that data in any way, shape, or form, then it never happened. To talk about your goodness in some sort of report is paramount. So this actually has guides and templates from all sorts of different events we've worked with. It's kind of a best practices for reporting and analysis. Again, anyone in the sound of my voice, if that's not right, or warfare centers have great excellence, especially the community here, give us a call, give me an email. We'll research it and do it better. And then we'll get it part of our next guidebook. Again, you know, basically we're trying to make SBIRs as innovators more effective. Try to cross that valley of death. Give them an opportunity to get there. Give them some of the foundational tools to get there. And it might not happen with one event. It might have to be a lab event, then a shipboard event, and then maybe something larger. But, you know, if you have that evidence, for a TPOC, it gives you evidence to fund more down the line. Let's see. The other thing I want to hit on here is do no harm, do not impact. So when we work with the communities, we're not going to go against the event sponsors. We're not going to do any harm to the SBIRs. So a lot of SBIRs, they want to demonstrate. They want to prove they're perfect because I'm trying to get paid because my stuff's the greatest thing. And I have to prove it. But how about warfighting feedback on development of your SBIR? What about the fleet telling you, you got a square box, I need a round ball? What about all those things you can get that get you further down the line and get you smarter on your development to meet that warfighting gap? That's what an experiment can give you. That's what we're trying to do. But we don't want to hurt the SBIR in the process, so we're very conscious of that. Our website, my contact information is on the brief, and we'll post this one too. My government program manager works for Bob too, is Scott Bartlett. His information's on here. But like I said, the DonSec website is a great resource. We talk about all our guidebooks are there, our events that we're posting. We're refreshing that with new events all the time. So please give us a call. If you're a phase 2 SBIR, we definitely, if Navy SBIR, we want to hear from you. I mean, give us a call. We'll talk. If we can't do anything for you, great. But I've never had a call with a phase 2 SBIR that didn't get something out of the call. And it's 115 standing in 2 years. Bob?
Okay, we got a few minutes for more questions. If you don't ask the questions, I'll ask the questions. Okay. First is a couple of Bobisms. So the first, there is no greater requirement than something the other guy's got to pay for. So when you're talking to the fleet folks and they go, I love this, your response is, thank you. Are you ready to pay for it? Well, not really. Okay. That's like your kids going, Mom, can I have a Mustang convertible? I really, really need it. What's your answer? If it's yes, I want you to adopt me, by the way. So check as to who says what they want. Because if they're not the person writing the check, providing the money, it's good to know to have that feedback, but there are so many other steps that have to be accomplished to get there. Any other questions? Oh, I know one. When you hear from someone who says, I like what you're doing.
Bob, I have a question.
No, not you.
No, it's a good one. Because I was talking about this trash yesterday, and I'm like, and I need you to fact check me.
You notice I always walk around, I don't sit because I have to duck and weave.
All right. So look, man, if I'm a small business and I have a SBIR phase 2, we've got a company back here that has this buoy. I have a SBIR phase 2 with the Department of Energy. And us being Marines, we'll use the Marine Corps as an example. The Marine Corps comes up to me from MarCorps Syscom or one of the NIWICs or wherever, and they say, hey, man, I'm interested in your product. I have a SBIR phase 2 with the Department of Energy. Is it possible for us in the Department of Navy to do a SBIR phase 3 based on that competitively awarded phase 2 out of the Department of Energy?
Yes, that's why you got to go to the website, NavySBIR.com.
Thanks.
Get our phase 3 guidebook that talks about how you can do a phase 3. You need to really understand the power of your SBIR awards. From when you get that first phase 1, you're in position to be given a directed sole source phase 3 contract. What? Because you've already competed, Congress says you don't have to compete again. Okay? So you can do that. If you've developed technologies for a sister service that you see it has applicability to me, the Navy, you have that conversation and you go, Miss Johnson, I looked at your technical challenges. I've been working with the Air Force. And this is what we did. I see where I could take my SBIR topic with the Air Force, modify it to address your technical challenge and give you a solution. What you're also saying to me is, I'll save you a year in the process because I don't need to start at phase 1, spend 6 months on a phase 2. I can do a direct phase 2 contract with you. I'm going to save another 6 months. So I'm already a year ahead in the process by just adopting my sister services topic. Okay. And you've got that direct phase 3 authority. And I forgot to mention, because it's SBIR, you own all of your IP for 20 years. Okay. And by law, any government person that tries to talk you out of your SBIR data rights, I need to know, because they're going to get a motivational conversation. Okay, last chance we're going to give back to Steve.
And then we're going to have network, because you're not leaving, right, Bob? Because there's beer coming out soon, I think.
Sweet.
I don't know. I'm lying. I don't know.
One more.
Well, I was going to ask you. Okay, go ahead.
One more. At a Marine Officers Club, where is the most dangerous place to be on a Friday afternoon? Between the pilot and the free food. True story.
True. So, oh shit! I just lost it. I was a SBIR thing too. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask. So Bob, I'm a small business. I'm asking this question. If I have hey Bob, thanks for being here. Yeah, like if I have a SBIR phase 2, should those be the first words out of my mouth to a prospective client within the Department of the Navy who has money, to let them know I have a competitively awarded deal, that before I even talk about my tech, I tell them I have a SBIR phase 2 and they could move to a phase 3 because they can award money to me straight away?
It's not the way I would market it. Let's have the conversation of what problem are you going to solve for me? So one, you're going to solve my technical problem. Now let's go through. Your average PM has 3 things they're concerned about: cost, schedule, performance.
Ask me. I know, because I'm a PM. Oh, I was going to answer it.
Oh, you're sorry.
Cost,
schedule, performance.
You can't have all 3. You can have 2.
Let's go through that. Okay. You say you've got my solution. Yeah, it's risky. It's R&D. You're a small business. You're going to be cheaper than a prime. I can get you under contract in months versus years. Okay. Cost covered. Schedule covered. Performance. If it works, we'll knock it out of the park. So yeah, most of the time the PM's going to go, thank you for talking about my challenge and understanding it. Thank you for mentioning the fact that you already have a contract vehicle I can use. Because usually what the PM is, what's the technology, who's got the money, and what's the contract vehicle? You've covered all 3 of those. You know, they're going to go home early for a change. I think.
What's your name? Robert? Robert, it doesn't matter. If you have a SBIR phase 2 with NASA or the Department of anyone, the Department of Navy can take that and use that to move it directly to a phase 3, meaning I'm a program officer. I have money in my project funds, my budget, and I find your tech compelling. I can purchase it without any competition. That's the power of this. Oh, go ahead. I beg your pardon.
No, you're absolutely right. Because one of the things a KO always has to do is, did you compete this award? And by law, she or he gets the right. No, by law, it wasn't required. Check block done. Full and open competition has been accomplished. We're doing the best thing for the taxpayer. It's a win, 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 win. And I can do it with anybody's phase 1 or competed phase 2.
What if it's expired? What if my SBIR expired? I don't know if you covered this, Bob. Tell me to shut up if you did.
It never expires.
It never expires. Never expires. You guys are all, if you have a SBIR phase 1 or a phase 2 with anybody, you're missing out. You're missing out on a good pitch to apply to sell your stuff to Department of Navy.
Yep.
Do you agree with that?
No, we actually, when someone comes to me with an urgent Navy need, urgent Marine Corps need, the first place we go is to our SBIR search.com website to see if we've had any SBIR award related to that, because I will extend, derive, or complete that using that previous SBIR. So you might have been an SBIR awardee from 2009. And you were doing corrosion on an F-14. Well, let's go even further. An F-4, which is kind of gone, not even in the fleet anymore. But that allows me, that's my get out of jail, go straight to go card to put the new statement of work together that extends, derives, or completes that previous SBIR work. And I got to tell you, you don't have to get too creative to extend, derive, or complete previous SBIR work. Do it all the time.
All right. So if there's no other questions, and I don't have any either, we're going to move to the next phase, which is networking. So people can approach you and Christopher and I guess Rob and the other fella. I don't know your name. Rob, who came with you, Rob? Richard? Is that right? Okay. Yeah. So you all are Govies, right? Or you are on behest of Bob working here. So they can answer. There's four of them. You get the man himself, and then three others to help you with any questions. You got a question? Well, then talk to Bob. Good. Walk up on stage and talk to Bob, because this session is over. This session is over. So thank you, Chris. Oh, all right. I'll walk over here and get a damn microphone to this guy. Yeah, I mean, we just had all this time for Bill for questions.
His name, I've been hearing this guy's name the whole time I was here, Bob Smith. Who is this guy? And it turns out I was sitting next to him the whole time. But Bob, I have a simple question.
There's a downside to being Bob Smith. You try to check in a hotel at 11:30 at night, see what happens.
Griffin, can you help me on this? You read the newspapers, and anyway, it seems to be that the Navy bases have a mandates, and all shore bases have mandates for net zero. I want to hear more aggressively than most other places, and so if that's true, do they then, the Navy, put out a request, say, hey, we need to get more renewable energy on this particular base, or would this go into another whole category?
So a good question. Okay, the Navy's got an edict to go net zero. The Navy has an edict to save this. The Navy has an edict for whatever it is. I got a requirement. So I have an unfunded mandate coming your way. And what's the base commander going to say? Copy that. Will they work on it? You're going to have the conversation. Are they truly serious about it? So let's say they are. The next thing is they've got to get the technical community to go, what do I want? What's feasible? And how soon could it be seen? So do I have a quick turn? I'm just going to modify some commercial off-the-shelf software, or I need to start a research program in the hundreds of millions of dollars, because this is a 10 to 15, 20-year proposition. Okay. And the thing is, if it's portfolio management, it's all of the above. And now I'm going to have to fight. So why is the Navy going to spend as few dollars it has? Got to remember, the Navy only has $458 billion, and they're broke. Okay, so making the base resilient versus making that carrier steam, I will always have some trade-offs. I never have enough money to do everything I want, but you got to have the conversation. So are they going to put out that solicitation? Is it in the long-range plan? We are serious. We're going to commit some money. It may not be hundreds of millions, but it might be a $10 million program. You know, $1 million to you is going to go a long way. To the Navy, that's budget dust. Okay. Yeah.
That's my salary, Bob. $1 million. I make about $1 million a year at doing this job. No, not really. Okay, so Bob's he's gonna be in the audience. He's gonna be back to being a regular audience member. And if you didn't know you were sitting next to Bob the entire time, I don't know. That's a pretty funny story right there. Like, he's the man. So please connect with Bob. Now, Dan, you're there. I know you're tired. Dan Mahan, He's a deputy. I got Danny over here. I've got a contracts officer. Diana's sitting right next to Danny. Diane, you're supposed to raise your hand.